Welcome to this edition of Shelby This Week. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you. Michigan drivers should expect a decrease in auto insurance thanks to the change of this fee. And the Shelby Township Fire Department has some tips on how to keep you safe this winter season. The Eisenhower Eagles take on the Davison Cardinals in playoffs. We have these stories and more on this edition of Shelby This Week. A Shelby Township man was bound over to Macomb County Circuit Court for a crash that killed a 15-year-old. Appearing in 41A District Court, Albert Donadio is charged with 2 felony counts, including operating a vehicle under the influence of drugs and causing death, and reckless driving causing death, as well as a misdemeanor causing death. On January 5th, Anthony Jugo was walking with a friend on 25 Mile Road west of Hayes when he was struck and killed by Donadio, who was driving in an area which was closed for construction. Officers reported Donadio had 9 nanograms of THC in his system.
I did read over specifically the testimony of Dr. Glenn indicating the results of 9 nanograms of THC. Mindful of the doctor's testimony that, as indicated by Mr. Rabbo, that there's no good connection between THC levels and effects of use on particular individuals. She did indicate and testify that the 9 nanograms was on the higher side for cases of this nature that she had seen, and that the levels of this nature may or conceivably could have an impact on the likelihood of being involved in a collision or an accident. She also testified that she would not expect to see this level more than 6 hours after use, which would suggest a more recent use of marijuana.
In the state of Michigan, there is no legal limit of THC. Donadio is scheduled for an arraignment at Circuit Court on December 9th. Michigan drivers will see a decrease in their car insurance fee. Drivers who want unlimited lifetime coverage for crash injuries will pay $100 per vehicle starting in July of 2020. The Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association announced the fee will decrease from the current $220. It's a 55% fee cut. This announcement comes after a new law in the state making the mandatory benefit optional beginning in the summer. The state-created entity reimburses insurers for claims surpassing $580,000. The state says people who buy less personal injury protection coverage will avoid the $100 fee altogether. Stay safe this time of year with tips from the Shelby Township Fire Department. Stacy Santatera has more on simple ways to keep your family protected.
We all know what it means to hunker down in cold weather. For most of us, that means cranking up the heat, building a nice warm fire, and perhaps adding an extra blanket to the bed. And though we have become quite hardy here in Shelby Township, it is always a good idea to heed some basic cold weather safety tips.
Carbon monoxide is often referred to as the invisible killer. This is an odorless, colorless gas, and it's extremely deadly.
Extremely deadly and more common in the winter than any other time of the year.
What we suggest is having a carbon monoxide detector outside of the sleeping areas, 1 on each level of the home, and if at all possible, have them all interconnected so that if one goes off, they all will sound.
Carbon monoxide detectors save lives. Every year, over 400 people die and 50,000 are treated for carbon monoxide poisoning.
As soon as these detectors go off, if people follow the appropriate steps, first thing we'd want you to do is check and make sure that it's not just a low battery. Change the battery. If the detector is still going off, at that point you want to call your local fire department and have them respond. They'll be able to hopefully locate the source of the carbon monoxide, but we want you to leave the home immediately. Go to an area where there's fresh air. A lot of the equipment you have in your home can produce carbon monoxide. Your dryers, gas stoves, fireplaces, your furnace, all of these things can produce carbon monoxide. That's why they have the vents installed the way that they do. During the snowstorms, you want to make sure that those vents remain clear, because if they're blocked, that will cause a buildup of carbon monoxide in your home.
Another area of concern in your home is your fireplace. And though many people enjoy fires to make the cold weather more bearable, fires are a huge concern. Did you know that approximately 43% of all home fires involve a chimney?
Because that buildup of creosote in your fireplace is what's going to catch on fire. It builds up on the walls of the fireplace. It builds up in the chimney. So we recommend that you have your chimney cleaned by a professional certified chimney sweep at least once a year.
And when it comes to fireplace safety, you've got to be careful.
A big problem that we find is when people clean out their chimneys, when they clean out the ashes from a previous fire, they don't allow them to cool completely. So we recommend that you put them in a metal container with a lid and keep it outside at least 10 feet away from any buildings or any structures. They stay hot for a long time, and we've had homes ignited from fireplace ashes.
The Shelby Township Fire Department encourage you to make safety your first step in preparing for winter. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Eisenhower football faced off in Division I playoffs against Davison. Here are your game highlights.
Ike and Davison meet for the first time ever as both teams come into the regional final with a 9-2 record. On Ike's first drive, Blake Raskew fakes the handoff, looks for an open receiver, and finds Mario Guital wide open, and he would take it all the way for 63 yards and the score. On the ensuing kickoff, number 21 of Davison makes this fantastic return down to the 20 in Ike territory. And that sets up this 4-yard rush into the end zone from Carter Kreiderman, and we're all tied up once again. In the second quarter, junior quarterback Brendan Sullivan quickly escapes the pocket and finds Harrison Terry at the goal line, who takes it in himself to give the Cardinals the lead. And as the final minutes wind down in the half, Davison would tack on another touchdown with a quarterback keeper from the 1 to make it 21-7. The Eagles look to get something going in the third quarter, and it's Aiden Ives who gets the first down and more. But check this out, he loses the ball, and with a little luck, Steven Nadolski recovers the fumble. On 4th and long, the Eagles have no choice but to go for it, and rescue eyes Nadolski in the end zone, but it's intercepted by Caleb Smith, and he goes untouched for a 100-yard pick six, giving the Cardinals a 3-score lead. Another touchdown by Smith would seal the victory for Davison as they win by a score of 35-7 to advance to the semifinals to face Stevenson. Eisenhower ends their season with a 9-3 record, but they certainly exceeded expectations, and Coach Chris Smith had nothing but good things to say about this year's squad.
You know, I'm just proud of everything about what this season's about, and I really enjoyed these players. Like I told them over here, I really love this team. I loved coming to practice with them. They had fun at practice. They had fun in these games, and it's a shame that we lost, but we ran into a better team tonight for sure.
Still ahead on Shelby This Week, Macomb County welcomed these brand new United States citizens with a naturalization ceremony. And it was a magical night for the Humane Society of Macomb, with support from the community at the Dog Extravaganza. Stay with us for more Shelby This Week.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
These These individuals were from 11 different countries, and now they are all United States citizens. Kyle Warzebach has more on the naturalization ceremony, which happened right here in Macomb County.
Many immigrants come to America in order to have certain freedoms they may not have had elsewhere. But for 17 immigrants in Macomb County, what was once just a dream of theirs is now a reality.
So help me God. Congratulations and welcome to your new home.
Macomb County officials held a naturalization ceremony to celebrate and welcome the growing diversity of the community.
And when we look around Macomb County, it is a very diverse county, and we celebrate that. We are very excited about it. But personally, as a person who was born and raised here, I love coming to these ceremonies because I get to see the joy and the excitement that you have, and it renews my understanding that I didn't have to go through some of those difficulties and challenges to find the freedoms that many of you are looking for.
Dr. Sue McKeithen-Polish, who was an immigrant herself, shared her story to encourage these new citizens to take advantage of their new opportunities.
I was born in Thailand and lived there until I was 10 and had no idea or no thought that I would be coming here, pursuing education, getting my doctorate in the language that is my third language.
Now living in Macomb County and directing bilingual education for the Macomb Intermediate School District, she wants all new citizens to know they are welcome here.
Macomb is my home because of the people and because of what is here, the welcoming sense of this county.
As for Immigration Services Officer Lisa Jones, her love for conducting these ceremonies never fades.
I love hearing the different cultures. I love hearing the stories. I love the richness that people bring to this country.
And that richness has drastically changed Lisa's life.
Most of my diet now is really foods from other countries. I have been introduced to those over the years. I used to be almost 400 pounds. So in order to help me maintain my diet, I do eat foods from other countries that are a little healthier than some of the ones that I would normally try.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
Macomb Community College is inviting students in grades 6 through 12 and their parents for a day of exploring careers in manufacturing and technology. From auto design to robotics, this is a free event and will be on December 5th from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. It will be held at the college's Sports and Expo Center on the South Campus in Warren. Interested individuals will get an insider's look at career opportunities, explore hands-on exhibits, and experience a mini car show. More than 20 employees will be on site to answer student questions. There will be pizza, hot dogs, and pop, all for free, and people can enter to win a laptop computer. You can pre-register at macomb.edu/MFG evening. These students were tasked with creating a solution for a problem in a local municipality. Their robotics assignment brought them right here to Shelby Township to present their idea to the solution. ShelbyTV's Tyler Smith has more.
The St. Peter and Lutheran Lego and Robotics team came to Shelby to pitch an idea to help drivers and pedestrians alike. The team proposed an idea of a wireless linked alarm system to warn or inform drivers and pedestrians of dangers along the roads. Demonstrated by the team here.
Hey Alex, I really like this new electric car. Me too, it's so quiet. Hey, there goes a kid, he's texting me, he's not even paying attention. Oh no, dear, I can't hear this quiet car.
The township supervisor, Rick Sathakis, loved the idea and discussed with him how the township would go about implementing it into the Shelby's traffic system.
We would like to pilot the idea. But before we pilot, you know what that means, we maybe just do it on one traffic light. And then if it works, then we go on to what we call broad scale implementation, which means we do another and another and another and another.
The team will also be going to Armada High School to present this for the first LEGO League competition. But before they said their goodbyes, Mr. Sathakis wanted to leave with a few encouraging words.
So keep on thinking, and remember math, science, and engineering. It's a lot of fun, and just keep going at it. Because eventually you're going to have exactly what you need here, what we need here.
With a lot of heart and soul running the Humane Society in Macomb, these fearless leaders depend greatly on the community. This annual event helps keep the doors open so animals will continue to be saved.
It's our second annual event, and this year it is a fundraiser to help offset the medical costs of the animals in our care. So the Humane Society of Macomb spends about $25,000 a month on medical care for the animals that come in and out of the shelter for adoptions. As a no-kill shelter, it's a little bit more expensive to operate. Actually, the second a cat or dog or kitten or puppy walks through the door, it costs about $150 for checking for vaccines and everything like that. So it's a very expensive process to take care of so many animals. The shelter itself will have adopted nearly 1,500 animals out this year, and this event is meant to help support all of those animals and the costs that went associated with them.
Well, we're doing two things. We're trying to raise awareness for the animals at our shelter first and foremost, and then we are also trying to get people to understand the necessity for a shelter like ours to be able to rely on 100% donations. We do not rely on any other organization. We're not a government subsidized facility. Everything we do is 100% donations from the public. So we're counting on the public tonight to give us a real good boost to our finances.
And speaking of the Humane Society of Macomb, this week for Pet of the Week, we meet Daisy, an energetic dog with a need to explore.
Daisy is a 5-year-old husky. She is absolutely beautiful. She's got blue eyes. She is a little nervous around new people, but she warms up pretty quick. And she loves to play, she loves the ball. Just a great all-around dog. Again, just beautiful. Well, like I said, she's a little, it takes a little while to warm up, but once she's your friend, and she loves to play, and she's really affectionate. She loves to be rubbed. She's just a good dog. We're not going to be sending her home with any family that has small kids. She doesn't do too great around small kids. I think that the quick movements make her a little nervous. Outside of that, she can really go home with anybody. She'd make a great pet. If you're a first-time dog owner or if you've had experience with dogs, I think she'd be great either way. Oh, she's a favorite. People absolutely love her. She gets out all the time. She's one of the favorites here right now. There's always a great need, year-round. There's always dogs and cats available for adoption. So if it's not Daisy, we've got a bunch of other different animals here, and we'd love to introduce you to one.
Coming up next, one organization is aiming to help survivors of domestic violence.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
In an effort to give back to people in need, one Shelby Township woman is drawing from personal experience and has made it her mission to assist and serve others.
I advocate, just as a voice in the community, trying to let people know that 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic abuse sometime in their life. That's a lot of women.
Knowing these statistics and being a domestic violence survivor herself, Lynn Fiselli stepped into action and knew she wanted to lend a helping hand, which formed the idea of the Butterfly Collective.
Our mission is to help them once they're out of shelter or out of the abusive situation.
While the organization has only been around for 1 year, they have already helped so many people. And launching for the 2019 holiday season is their Adopt a Family project.
Anybody can nominate a family. The only requirement is that they are a single parent and they are survivors of domestic violence.
Local businesses have stepped up to provide gifts for these families in need. It's a chance to give back to someone going through a tough time. The whole reason why Lynn started the Butterfly Collective.
It's very I feel this is This is why I was created. This is why I got through my situation, is to be able to empower other women to find their strength and know that they too can get out of it and create a life that they're happy and safe in.
The Butterfly Collective is still looking for families for the Adopt a Family for Christmas. To nominate yourself or someone you know, or to learn more about the organization, you can contact Lynn via Facebook or call her at 586-872-6297. That's all we have for this edition of Shelby This Week. Remember, you can always watch us online or on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. We will leave you now with scenes from around the municipal grounds where the snow is on the ground, and even though it's technically fall, it sure does feel like winter out there. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.